wearing a t-shirt that says never made.
I believe him. I think he's telling the truth.
All right, guys, we got Joe Scott today, host of the Slapson Podcast. Hell yeah. Hell yeah. Joe, how you doing?
Doing very good, man. I was excited to get the invite, brother.
Hell yeah, man. I've been following your stuff. You know, we've been making content surrounding Power Slap a little bit, you know. And so as I've been getting into the sport myself, I've been looking at, you know, the podcasts and the channels. Let me just tell you, man, you're honestly one of the sickest personalities in this game. You have one of the hardest intros of all time.
Bro, thank you so much, man.
Your intros are your intro's sick, dude. Very good. Joe, can you tell me a little bit about the Slapson Podcast?
Yeah, for sure, dude. So we went to, I believe, it's funny, man, when the camera turns on, sometimes I don't, get the facts exactly right. So everyone can fact check me in the comments. But we went to Power Slap 8 because I saw that Paige Van Zandt was making her debut. So I'm a big MMA nerd, not as big as I used to be, but my first UFC fight I saw was Couture Liddell 3. So long ass time ago. And so I've been in the sport, was a fan for like a long time. I had heard of Power Slap, but, probably like a lot of other people, just kind of like, what's this freak show, whatever, like knocking people out across the, not defending themselves, on and on and on. But anyway, I saw that Paige was making her debut. So I was like, oh, dude, let's go check this out. I'm interested. And so I talked to my middle son and my youngest son. I got 3 boys. And my youngest son, he didn't want to go. My middle son was game. He's like, yeah, I'll go. It'll be fun. But what got me was my oldest son, who he's not really that guy. Like he's crazy smart, super into school, and doesn't really get into the sports scene too much. When he said, "Oh, I've seen that online," I was like, "Oh shit! If he knows about it, we got to go check this out." So legit, man, bought tickets that day. Drove down early the next day, went to the event, and on the way down, crazy, Lane actually followed us on the way down to the event. That was exciting. And then we watched it, and we saw Vern against Terp. We saw Manny against Babyface. We saw I'm gonna screw it up. I think we saw Dumpling's debut on that card. And of course we saw Paige. But dude, point is, we got out of there, bro. And we looked at each other like, what the hell was that? That was amazing. It was so much fun. I didn't expect any of it. And we on the car ride home, I actually made a video. It's our first YouTube upload for the podcast. He's like, we should make a podcast. And I said, yeah, let's do it. And I was thinking, we get like 1 or 2 of the guys on or whatever and just have some fun with it. You know what I mean? And
that's your oldest son or your middle son?
With my middle son. And my youngest was involved a little bit in the beginning as well. When we first started the pod, it was summer, so school was out. So they had a lot more involvement. And then when school came on, I was like, oh shit, yeah, you guys got to go to school. We can't keep doing this, So, but anyway, dude, Sped, that's what happened. I caught Gianni he was doing a live on Instagram. I swear to you. And so I hit him up on the live. I said, hey, you want to come on the podcast? And he's like, yeah, man, I'll come on. And so we had Gianni on, then we had Dwayne on, and then we had everybody on. And dude, I'm having the time of my life. I fucking love it. I love the sport, but more so, I love the strikers, man. All the girls, all the guys. I just fucking love them, dude. They're good people. Once you get to know them, as you're finding out, they're just humans, man. They're just trying to better their life. They're just trying to accomplish something, no matter what age they are. Like everyone I'm learning doing all these interviews is everyone in life has a little tick that they're working on. And unless they scratch that tick or itch, they're just going to have a regret. And I can firmly say that people in Power Slap, they have a life that isn't as filled with regret as others because they're actually going out and doing it and doing the thing that they love. And once you find that out about them, dude, the sport's amazing. We're massive fans. Obviously, we love it. We go to all the events that we can. But once you learn that from me, bro, I just love the Strikers, man. They're fam to me. I say it on the podcast all the time. They're fam. So, but that's the backstory, brother. And next thing you know, here we are a year later, and yeah, we're talking to you, man.
Yeah, man. I mean, your videos are actually very entertaining. You ask good questions, good conversations. I loved that you had the interviews at the Fontainebleau at the suite.
Yeah.
Those were good. Those were good.
Yeah, dude. We
Did you
so
go
those
to Power Slap 13?
So we did go to Power Slap 13, but where we actually do those, it's not actually at the Fontainebleau. So the Strikers, they stay off site. I can tell you where that is offline.
Yeah, I know.
And we go to. Yeah, okay, I'm sure you do, but just in case, we don't want to put them on blast.
I'm like, I know. I'm like, I know. I'm sorry.
Yeah. So no, you're good. So we this is another pivotal moment, man. So we started the podcast, July 17th a year ago, and I really didn't talk about it, dude. Like, I was having fun, and people kind of asked, what's Joe doing? What's, all that kind of stuff. What are his sons doing? That kind of thing. And I didn't really talk about it. Not that I was ashamed of it. I don't know. I just didn't talk about it. But when we went to and did the Sweet Talks for the first time, I swear to you, I didn't know if anybody was going to show up. Like, that's real. Like, I brought a camera guy with me and some lighting, put up the money to like make it like more official, you know what I'm saying? And but I didn't know. And when people started to show up, when fam showed up, bro, after that, that's the moment where I knew we had a podcast. And that's the moment where I started telling people, hey, I think we got a podcast. You know what I mean? And it
That's
just
amazing.
solidified. Yeah, dude, it just solidified our relationships with all the Strikers, and it solidified that a lot of them really are friends to us, family to us. And but that's the first time we did Sweet Talks, and because of that, every time there's a card in Vegas, we do Sweet Talks. We couldn't hook it up in NOLA, but we did have a live podcast on our 1-year anniversary at Gorilla Beverages launch party. So I kind of count that as Sweet Talks in NOLA, but we'll be back in Vegas in October. It's already booked. Everything's done. So we'll be there.
Yep. I'll be there too in Vegas in October. I went to my first Power Slap event, Power Slap 13 International Fight Week. Dude,
Hell yeah.
I had a blast. I'm not even kidding. I don't know why. It just seems like every time Power Slap is brought up to somebody who doesn't know much about Power Slap, it's like 75% of the time like a hateful response in a way. And I feel like anybody who doesn't approve of Power Slap for whatever reason, I urge you to go to an event. The event is insane. I mean, like, I can't even explain to you why it's insane. I think it's because it's so intimate.
Yeah, it's weird, right? I was watching Theo Vaughn was talking about it with Glenny Balls on their podcast, and they were saying how awesome it was live, and it's almost like you're just at some party or whatever, and then right before they're about to slap, everybody stops. They look, it gets quiet, and you see the thing take place, and it's phenomenal. You got to see it live, 100%.
I had a few Power Slap athletes on, right? I noticed real quick that these are such marketable personalities. Babyface, right? I don't know. I could see Babyface being a star, like a star, And I just wanted to know who you feel that way about in Power Slap, up and coming or champion.
Ooh, that's a good question, man. So I'll say this. I'll say that even Babyface, we've talked a couple of times extensively about how it's not guys just applying off their couch now saying, oh, I could smack a guy. These are like, there's D1 athletes, they're professional athletes. These are people that have fought in MMA. These are boxers. So I will say that the game has leveled up immensely. So in order to separate yourself, and Babyface and I were talking about this exact thing, you need to bring something, whether that's personality, a specific move, a walkout, something like that, because everyone's trying to be, to some extent, once Connor came on the scene, everyone tries to be a little bit of Connor, right? Because that's the blueprint that they've seen that blows up. And I'm not saying you need to be Connor and Power Slap, but what I am saying is being interactive with the crowd, shouting, whatever you shout to the crowd, and being somebody that's noticeable and has the capability, bro, sky's the limit, man. Because nobody gives a shit if you, at the end of the day, you can't fight. Like, you can talk all the shit, you can, all the smack, say you're going to be the best, say you're going to be champ, but at the end of the day, if you can't fight, no one cares, right? So who do I think, going back to your question, is that person now? Man, I'm going to get so much shit after I say this, dude.
I love it. I love it.
So I will. Babyface is one of them. Dude, in fighting, there's a lot of recency bias, if that makes sense, right? So what's fresh in my classic. Classic, right? So what's fresh in my mind is the last card, and shit, man, he didn't get the win. But Roe is a guy with a lot of personality. But Aaron's a guy with a lot of personality. He did the shimmy back to him. You know what I'm saying? Like, I think those guys got it. I think McKinney's got it, from his walkout to his how he stands. He kind of sits there and meditates a little bit, shit, man. Pono's got it with the breakdancing. Fucking Trujillo did the
Yep.
He did that whole thing. Like, so I think what's going to separate people, because there's so many that are starting to get it. And I think the wrestlers coming in, bro, is what leveled up people's game, a lot of people's game, because they know it's a show. And that's what they're bringing to the table. So I think, I don't know if anyone specifically comes to mind immediately, but I will say this. The strikers that figure out the personality side, coming on podcasts that are just starting, like yours and mine, getting their name out there, going the extra mile, and having the record to back it up and the show to back it up, that's who's going to emerge, bro. That's who's going to be a juggernaut. And you can't, and this is my last thing, you can't manufacture it. He or she just has to come on the scene and show us that they are it. And that's when we'll know.
Yeah, for sure. So Power Slap is such a young company. I feel like anybody can come into any top 10 and make a dent and get a title shot. Anybody can just turn this company on its ass. You know what I mean? Anybody can come and be a star. How has the Power Slap company team ever been in contact with you? Like, hey, we see what you're doing, this and that.
Not formally, through the grapevine, and you might find this out as well. Just going to the events and getting to know who the different people are. I've got to know them that way, like after the event, seeing them around, and introducing myself. But never formally. Always just in passing, and they've always been amazing. Like, full disclosure, still haven't met Erica. You know what I mean? I know who she is. Yeah. Yeah, I've seen her at events, this and that, but dude, you'll love this. So there was a time, though, because my personality is very much like self-deprecating, energetic, try to slide in a joke here and there, And so there was a time where I was trying to get media passes and I got denied. And I was like, oh, that's okay. We're going to make this work. You know what I mean? And so I was like, every Tuesday, I'm going to call out Erica. I'm going to call it Frank. I'm going to call it Power Slap and just be like, hey, deny me? Come on now. Like, just be funny with it, right? But I soon realized that really isn't how I roll. I think I got a little too ahead of myself. And it's funny because once I pulled back and just started doing the podcast and had blinders on and, didn't really, I just did me. The next event is when I actually met Frank and talked to him a little bit. And I think that was a good reminder for me to just to do me and all of that will come. I think the best way someone can get involved in such a young sport and Power Slap is show that you're involved, like you, like Petty, like obviously Slap News, right? That we're actually involving ourselves. And that shows a lot. I mean, I don't know for sure, but I think that shows a lot. It means a lot to the actual brand of Power Slap.
Yeah, I agree. Actually, I met Frank at the UFC 317 just in the hallway.
No
And
way.
yeah, he's like, I like your shirt. I was wearing Never Made Weight shirt. And I was like, I'm like, you're Frank, right? No, actually, he told me, he's like, would you be interested in fighting super heavyweight? I'm like,
No
okay. I'm
shit.
like, yeah. I'm like, okay. He took my Instagram down and stuff. I mean, I'm
Yo.
probably not down, you know what I mean? But I have other stuff going on in my life. I'm not down to get into that, but like, I'm
Dude,
not
what if
gonna
they
say
show up
no
with
to
five?
him.
What if they show up 5Gs? Would you do it then?
No. I mean, I'm not gonna say no to him. So if
Got you.
throughout every step of the way, if Frank Lamasella could be by me while I'm not eating that burger and eating that salad instead, you know what? Maybe, yeah.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I didn't want to say no to him. But anyway, I talked to him. He's a really cool guy. I think it's very consistent with like everybody in the company, right?
No, it really is. Like, it's funny, man. Like I'm so social. I'm so like, what's up? And like I said, outgoing, energetic, all that shit. But with Frank, man, he's been so nice. We always take a photo. One time I introduced myself, I think it was the first time. I can't remember if the first time I just said, "Hey, can I get a picture?" and I didn't say shit, and then it was the next time that I did. But no, whatever time it was, I did introduce myself. I'm like Joe Scott Slapson. He's like, "Oh no, I know," and took a photo. And yeah, dude, he's never been nothing but nice to me for sure.
Cool. So let me ask you, Joe. I don't want to take too much of your time. Just a couple more questions, Joe.
Yeah, you're good,
Um,
man.
how do you see the future of this sport evolving? Do you have any ideas for marketing? Is there something that you see that others don't? Can you give us a little hot take?
Yeah, as far as where I see the sport going. Yeah, okay. Um, no, I think it's very. Everyone says that compared to UFC, right? It feels like UFC in the beginning. It feels like UFC in the beginning, and I get that, especially when it comes to people saying it's grotesque or we can't get in this state, we can't get in that state because of the athletic commission thinks it's grotesque or whatever it may be. But I do know this: whenever somebody is dogging you, trolling you, telling you you're stupid, telling you this won't work, and all the while you're making progress in the background, buddy, that shit's about to pop off. And look, we don't have a crystal ball, so who knows? But I will tell you this: it seems to be in life, if you're doing something that people are shitting on and you're making progress while they're doing all the shit talking, it's going to pop off. And that's how I feel about Power Slap. Look, dude, I can't remember who said it. It might have been Wes, but it is truly the home run derby of fighting. It is truly like the gunslinger of fighting, to quote my guy Raiden about a year ago. And if all it is that, that's fantastic because that's what people want to see. And the vibe, bro, is more hospitable. So I'll explain. When you go to a UFC fight or whatever fight, dude, they're not. I mean, look, every fighter is different. So as they should take it serious and be serious and be that person. You're about to go into a cage and fight. But all I can say is the vibe is different at Slap, dude. Like people go up there, they do their thing, sometimes in an amazing fashion, and for the most part, literally for the most part, they're having drinks with each other after they fight, and I think that's going to help Power Slap a lot. The camaraderie, the people that are so approachable. I said on my podcast a little while back that they're so giving with their time, and all that may change, brother, as it gets bigger, because with fame comes less time for people like you and I. However, I think that's a difference maker in Power Slap is they really do care about the sport, all the strikers, and they really do take that time with the fans. And you times that with selling out stadiums, going overseas, selling out stadiums there with billions of views, like it's gonna pop off. Yeah.
Yeah, I agree. I love that vision, and I'm gonna be here to watch it all. Hey, Joe, thank you so much for your time, bro. It was really good
Absolutely.
meeting. It was really good meeting you. Um, Guys, go check out the Slapson Podcast. Look, you're gonna already know, right? From the beginning of the podcast, the way Joe talks, the way his intro is. He comes out of the Porsche, he walks towards the camera. It looks insane. Okay. And I just want to let you know, guys, if you guys like Power Slap, go subscribe to Slapson. That is, very entertaining. It was very entertaining for me. I watched a couple episodes. Joe, I'm excited to see what you're gonna do. I'll be following you in the future as well. Joe, is there something you want to leave us with?
Nah, man, I just want to say thank you. You know what I mean? Like I said, having the time of my life, and everybody go follow Welcome to Slapson on Instagram, baby, and just slap_son on YouTube. We are baby stepping our way to the greatest content we can put out. You know what I mean? And we always have a good time. Remember that. I'll leave on this. Very beginning of the podcast, I was saying that we were bringing the happy to Power Slap, and I still believe that. So I'll leave you with that, brother. Thank you so much for having me out.
That's amazing, bro. That's a good vibe. I'm sure everybody's gonna appreciate that. All right, guys. Joe Scott. Thank you, Joe.
Thank you, brother.
Wearing a T-shirt that says "Never made."
I believe him. I think he's telling the truth.